Leviticus chapter 1 opens with a call. God speaks, not from a distant place, but from the tabernacle, from the place of meeting, from the place where heaven touches earth. And what does he call for? An offering. Not just any offering, but a burnt offering, a sacrifice that is completely consumed, nothing held back, nothing reserved, everything placed on the altar. This wasn't casual worship. This wasn't symbolic religion. This was total surrender. The worshiper would bring an animal, without blemish, no defects, no shortcuts. Because God wasn't asking for leftovers, he was asking for the best. And then something deeply personal happened. The one bringing the offering would lay their hand on the head of the sacrifice. This was identification. This represents me. My sin, my failure, my need for atonement. And then the sacrifice was slain. Blood was shed. Because sin is not abstract. Sin costs something. Sin brings death. And from the very beginning, God was making it clear restoration requires sacrifice. But here's where it gets even deeper. The entire offering was burned, not partially, not divided, not shared, consumed. This is the only offering in Leviticus where everything goes to God. Why? Because this offering represents complete devotion. It's not just about forgiveness, it's about surrender. God wasn't just calling Israel to be cleansed, he was calling them to be his, fully, completely. And notice, this offering was voluntary. God didn't force it. It was brought from the heart. That means this isn't about obligation. It's about desire, a desire to draw near, a desire to be right with God, a desire to say, I belong to you. And yet, even in this ancient system, there's mercy. If someone couldn't afford a bull, they could bring a sheep. If not a sheep, then a bird. God made a way for everyone. The cost varied, but the surrender did not. Every offering still had to be complete. Because God doesn't measure devotion by the size of the gift, he measures it by the fullness of the heart. Now fast forward, because Leviticus isn't just history, it's a shadow. Every burnt offering points forward to something greater, to someone greater, Jesus Christ, the perfect sacrifice without blemish, without sin. And like the burnt offering, he was wholly given, not partially, not reluctantly, fully surrendered to the will of the Father. On the cross, nothing was held back. His body broken, his blood poured out, consumed in obedience and love. And through him, we don't just see sacrifice, we see fulfillment. Because what the fire consumed in Leviticus, the cross completed in Christ. So what does that mean for us? Romans 12:1 echoes Leviticus 1 in a new covenant voice. Present your bodies as a living sacrifice. Living, but still surrendered. Breathing, but still on the altar. God is still calling for burnt offerings, but now the offering is us. Not in death, but in daily surrender, in how we live, in what we choose, in what we lay down. This is not about ritual. It's about relationship, not about animals, but about allegiance. So the question becomes, what are we holding back? Because partial surrender is not surrender. God is not looking for a portion of your life, he's calling for all of it. Your thoughts, your desires, your plans, your identity, placed on the altar. And yes, it costs something. But what you give up is nothing compared to what you gain. Because in surrender, there is freedom. In sacrifice, there is transformation. In giving everything to God, you finally become who you were created to be. Leviticus 1 may seem ancient, but its message is eternal. God is holy, sin is costly, and true worship requires everything. So come to the altar, not with fear, but with faith, not with leftovers, but with your whole life, because the fire that consumes the sacrifice is the same fire that refines the heart. And in that fire, you don't lose yourself, you find him.